In 2011, a 19-year-old prodigy named Neymar Jr. took the world by storm. He finished in the top 10 of the Ballon d'Or rankings, a remarkable feat for a player still plying his trade in Brazil, playing for Santos. His rise was so fast and so spectacular that he seemed destined for greatness. That year, he won the Puskas Award for the best goal of the year, while his performances earned him global attention from Europe's biggest clubs. Real Madrid, Barcelona, and several Premier League teams were all keeping a close eye on the young Brazilian. It was Barcelona that won the race, signing Neymar in 2013. Little did anyone know at the time, this would be the start of one of the most fascinating careers in modern football. Full of promise, but also marred by injuries and a few career decisions that raised eyebrows. Let's take a closer look at Neymar's career, from his early rise to the stratosphere, to the roadblocks that prevented him from reaching his true potential. Neymar's career trajectory in Brazil was nothing short of extraordinary. At Santos, he was already showing glimpses of the player he would become. A blend of flair, skill, and creativity that made defenders nervous and fans fall in love. By the time he had made the move to Barcelona in 2013 at just 21 years old, Neymar had already won numerous domestic titles and was a national hero in Brazil. But his arrival at Barcelona wasn't just about joining any top club, it was about becoming part of the most iconic attacking trio in football history. Neymar, alongside Lionel Messi and Luis Suarez, would form the infamous MSN trio, a partnership that would take Barcelona to some of their most successful years. At Barcelona, Neymar didn't just live up to expectations, he exceeded them. His dribbling, vision, and ability to score made him a constant threat in attack. By his second season, Neymar had 47 goal contributions in just 51 games, a figure that's almost unheard of for someone so young. His performances were key in Barcelona's historic treble-winning season in 2014-15, where they clinched the La Liga, Copa del Rey, and UEFA Champions League titles. Neymar scored in the Champions League final against Juventus, cementing his place as a world-class player. Over the next few seasons, Neymar's numbers kept rising. By the end of his 4-year stint at Barcelona, he had scored 114 goals and won multiple trophies, including 2 La Liga titles, 3 Copa del Reys, and a prestigious treble in 2015. Statistically and individually, Neymar had reached new heights that many thought would pave the way for him to become the natural heir to Messi's throne. Then came the moment that would alter the course of his career. In 2017, Neymar made the shock move to Paris Saint-Germain, PSG, for a world record fee of €222 million. At the time, it was the most expensive transfer in football history, and it raised more than a few eyebrows. Neymar had just reached the pinnacle of European football, playing alongside the best in the world at Barcelona, so why leave? Many believed Neymar's decision was driven by the desire to be the focal point of a team, to escape Messi's shadow, and to step into the spotlight as the undisputed leader of a new project. PSG offered him that. The French club was willing to pay an eye-watering sum for Neymar, but more importantly, it gave him the chance to dominate Ligue 1 and be the centerpiece of a team that was aiming to win the Champions League. For Neymar, it seemed like a move that would solidify his legacy and his status as one of the world's best players. However, in hindsight, it's clear that the move to PSG wasn't the career-defining step many hoped for. Sure, PSG dominated domestically, winning multiple Ligue 1 titles, but the competition in France was not as fierce as it was in Spain. Neymar, a player who had flourished in one of the world's most competitive leagues, was now playing in a league where his individual brilliance wasn't always enough to truly challenge himself. The real test was always going to be in the Champions League, and for all of Neymar's talent, PSG's struggle in Europe became the defining narrative of his time in Paris. Despite his efforts, PSG fell short year after year. In 2020, they reached the Champions League final but lost to Bayern Munich in a heart-wrenching defeat. Neymar's dream of European glory remained unfulfilled, and the criticism started to mount. Many began to wonder if Neymar's move to PSG had been the right decision after all. Could he have achieved more if he had stayed at Barcelona or moved to a different club? The answer to those questions are still open to debate. One of the biggest obstacles to Neymar's career, and perhaps the most tragic part of his journey, has been his constant battle with injuries. Neymar has suffered from a range of injuries throughout his career, but it's his reoccurring issues with his ankles and feet that have been the most damaging. At his peak, Neymar was one of the most exciting players in world football. His creativity, vision, and unpredictability made him a nightmare for defenders. But when he was fit, he wasn't always fit for long. Neymar has been one of the most fouled players in recent football history, often the victim of rough tackles and brutal challenges. His playing style, full of skill moves, quick turns, and sharp changes of direction, make him susceptible to injury, and these challenges take a toll on his body over time. Injuries became a major factor in Neymar's inability to maintain the kind of consistency that his peers like Messi or Ronaldo were able to show throughout their careers. While Messi and Ronaldo were able to stay fit for the majority of their careers, Neymar's injuries have meant that he has been sidelined at crucial moments. Whether it was his foot injury in 2018 or the ankle problems that plagued him during key seasons at PSG, Neymar has never truly had a season free from injury setbacks. Each injury broke his rhythm and stopped him from performing at his absolute best for long periods. Neymar's international career has also been filled with highs and lows, but one thing has always eluded him: a World Cup win. Despite being Brazil's all-time top scorer and one of the most talented players in international football, Neymar has yet to deliver Brazil's 6th World Cup. His performances at the 2014 World Cup held in Brazil were some of his best, but fate had other plans. Neymar was a key player for Brazil, but a heartbreaking injury in the quarter-finals ended his tournament early, and Brazil went on to be humiliated 7-1 by Germany in the semi-final. In 2022, Neymar's World Cup dreams were again dashed, despite a heroic performance in the quarter-finals against Croatia. Neymar scored a stunning goal to put Brazil ahead in extra time, but a late equaliser from Croatia and a penalty shootout loss saw Brazil crash out once again. Neymar gave everything he had, but luck seemed to never be on his side in the biggest moments. It's painful to think of what could have been for Neymar if injuries hadn't disrupted his career, especially with Brazil. In 2014, a home World Cup was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for Neymar to lead his country to glory. The same could be said for the 2022 World Cup, where Neymar was in his prime and ready to make history. But both times, fate dealt him a cruel hand. Looking back on Neymar's career, there are so many what-ifs. What if he had stayed at Barcelona longer, where he could have continued to grow alongside Messi and Suarez, becoming the natural heir to Messi's throne at the club? What if he had moved to a more competitive league like the Premier League, or stayed in Spain with a club like Real Madrid? Could he have achieved more in Europe's toughest environments, where every game was a challenge and every season mattered? If Neymar had stayed fit and made different decisions along the way, it's easy to imagine him in the conversation as one of the greatest players of all time. A fully fit Neymar playing in the right environment might have been a true contender for the Ballon d'Or, and he could have added Champions League trophies to his name. Instead, we are left with the story of a player who had all the talent in the world, but never quite put it all together in the way we all expected. In the end, Neymar's career is a bittersweet one, a combination of brilliance, missed opportunities, and what might have been. Injuries and questionable career decisions have undoubtedly held him back from achieving the greatness that many predicted. Still, he remains one of the most talented players of his generation. Despite the setbacks, Neymar has delivered countless moments of magic on the pitch, and he still can make an impact for Brazil in the coming years. If Neymar had avoided injuries and made different career decisions, who knows where his legacy could have taken him? He could have been one of the greatest players to ever play the game. But even so, his career will still be remembered as one of exceptional talent.